begin, this lesson that I'm going to be doing is still with arrays, and this worksheet that we're going to be working on together is called the cupcake arrangement. Now, if you are working at home, you can pull up a copy of this in your Canvas. You can either print it out, or you can go into and use the Cami version and work on it while you are listening to this video, because we're going to do this together, and you can probably see it a little bit better than you maybe can on the video. But in this worksheet on the cupcake arrangement, a baker is arranging cupcakes in a box for a party. Doesn't that sound good? Cupcakes in a box. She placed the cupcakes in 6 rows with 5 cupcakes in each row. Why did I pause there? Do you guys remember what I want you to do? You got it. I want you to put a 1 on top of each. So I know she placed the cupcakes in 6 rows with 5 cupcakes in 1 row. How many cupcakes did the baker put in the box? Draw a diagram that shows the cupcakes in this array. So what I would like for you to do is pause the video and go ahead and make your cupcake arrangement. Okay. Welcome back. I hope now you probably make cute cupcakes. I'm just going to make boxes. My cupcakes never turn out that cute, not as cute as most of you can make. But I'm hoping that you made 5 rows, or 6 rows, I'm sorry, because it was 6 rows and 5 cupcakes in each row. So here is what, whoops, that's a weird looking box. So I did that quickly so you could see. And I'm actually going to count it up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So there's 5 in a row. And over here I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rows. Okay? So now, hopefully you remember that it's 5 groups of 6 or 6 groups of 5. Wonder what we're going to be doing. Now this doesn't scroll up, so I'm going to have to erase it, but if you needed to pause that video to check your answer, definitely pause it. Now let's go on and say, use the grid below to create an area model that represents the cupcake array shown above. So now we're going to make and create the same array as what's up here, but we're going to use grid paper to do it. So how I like to do first is I like to know there's 6 rows. So I'm going to mark off 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can shade this in. If you want to shade each piece in, it just takes a while. You're welcome to shade that in. And we said there are 5 cupcakes in each row. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that I'm counting even that first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm creating that same array, but now we're calling it an area model because we are using it and it's going to be shaded inside of this grid model. Okay, so then we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows of 6. 6 rows of 5, sorry. Okay, can we write a number sentence? Well, if you were listening to me, I hope that you saw that this is also the same as 6 groups of 5, which is how many? What is 5 times 6? You got it. And, or, if you did the commutative property, you could have said 5 times 6, which we just learned in the lesson right before, which is 30. So, since if I move this, my wording stays here, I'm going to have to erase this. But if you need some more time to look at this, go ahead and pause your video. And if you want to color these in, you are just shading in what represents the same thing as up above. And so here is just a different type of picture of the number of cupcakes. And this is in an array. And we're going to call this an area model because we're seeing how many squares are inside of a box. How many units are inside of a box? It's the number of square units inside of something is area. The space inside here that's being covered in. So that's why we call this an area model for multiplication. Now we're going to use the grid here below to write another area model that represents the same number of cupcakes. So we know first that 5 times 6 gives us 30. Can we also make one with the commutative property? So we're going to do this together. So there are more than one answer on here, but we're going to do with the ones that we know first. And so I'm going to go, and this is how you might want to do this on your paper, and you watch me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns, 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here is, and I'm going to box this in so I can see. If I shaded that in, that is going to be 6 groups of, oops, I don't know if you can see that very well. 6 groups of 5, which gives me 30. Now I'm going to do the opposite here. I'm going to do, instead of 6 rows, I'm going to do 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put, instead of 5 going across, I'm going to put 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I shade this in, you want to do that with a pencil so you're messing up anything. Now this shows 5 groups of 6. Now look how the rectangles are different, but they're giving us the same area. The same space is being taken up because even in here we have 30 squares and in here we have 30 squares. Now, I want you to pause the video and think of other ways you could make 30 squares, an area model with 30 squares, and not using 5 times 6 and 6 times 5. See if you can come up with other combinations. Okay. Welcome back. Here are some ones that I thought of while we were waiting for you. You could do one row of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh my goodness. And I can't even see all of it on here. It's going to move all of that, but that's okay because my squares stay the same. But I could go all the way down to 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm still 30. If I get all of those up there, I could shade this in all the way down. Let's move that here. And this is 30 times 1. Is that going to give me 30? Is that another way to show an area model? I could also go across. If there were 30 of these going across, I could definitely do 30 times, or 1 times 30. I could put 30 in a row. 2. What if I made 2 rows? How far down would I need to go? Most of you got it. How far did I have to go down to make 30? 2, 15, going down 15 rows, 15 times 2. I hope that could have been something that you guys came up with. 15 times 2, it's still going to give me the same number of squares. It just, the shape of my rectangles look different, don't they? I could also go across, and you could have done 15 going across. 15. I'm going to do this. Actually, I'm going to use the one at the end. It doesn't look like I shaded it, so then I shouldn't have. And this is another rectangle that just looks a little different. And this one is 2 rows. Oops, I got to go up 2 rows. If I don't go up 2 rows, I don't got 30 in there. 2 groups of 15. Okay. I could have done, you could have gotten 3 rows with how many in each row? If you said 10, you got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 rows of 10. You shaded that in. Same area, same number of boxes. The space inside is the same, just different ways of creating this rectangle. 3 groups of 10. You could have gone down 10. Let me use green for a different change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you could have gone 3 over. So this would be 10 groups of 3. And then 5 times 6 we got. So those are all the different ways we could have made that arrangement. I wonder why she chose the arrangement she did. Well, let's think about what she was doing. She was putting cupcakes in a box. So if you were putting cupcakes in a box, which box do you think, or boxes do you think would be the best? And you're right. Probably these boxes with 6 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 6 would be the easiest way to put and contain most of them in that space. So this is that lesson. Now, on your next worksheets, they're going to be very similar, and then you have a cupcake arrangement activity. You can go back to this lesson and look at it and see if it will help you answer those questions on those cards. As I always say at the end of all of mine, please go back and review these with any questions that you have. Thank you.